Ethan Parker, a 17-year-old boy with tired eyes but an unshakable spirit, began his daily run down the dusty path. His shoes were old, his clothes simple, but his dreams were vast. Every morning he ran past the same fields, past the same neighbors who shook their heads and whispered that boy's chasing a city dream in a farmer's world. Ethan's dream was to become a teacher, not just any teacher, but one who could bring knowledge and hope to his forgotten village. He wanted to prove that where you come from doesn't define where you can go. But dreams, he learned, demand more than desire. They demand discipline. Ethan's father worked long hours in the fields, struggling to grow enough crops to feed the family. His mother took in sewing work to pay for his school supplies. Many nights, there was little to eat, but the small flickering lamp in their house always burned late, lighting up Ethan's face as he studied from old, torn books. His teacher, Mr. Anderson, once told him, "Discipline, Ethan, is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like it. That's what separates wishful thinkers from achievers." Those words became Ethan's guiding light. When he finished high school, he earned excellent grades and was accepted into a college in the nearby city. It should have been a celebration, but joy quickly turned to worry. The family didn't have enough money for the tuition or living expenses. His father tried to stay strong, but his eyes betrayed his sadness. "I'm sorry, son," he said quietly, "we can't afford this." That night, Ethan sat outside staring at the stars. He whispered to himself, "If I stop now, I'll regret it for the rest of my life." At dawn, he packed his few belongings, kissed his mother's hands, and left for the city with just a small bag, a few dollars, and an ocean of determination. In the city, life was cruel and fast. Ethan found work washing dishes in a small restaurant. He spent his mornings scrubbing plates, his afternoons studying, and his nights cleaning floors. By the time he returned to his small rented room, his hands were cracked, his back ached, and his eyes burned from exhaustion. Many nights, hunger gnawed at him. The noise of the city outside kept him awake, and the thought of giving up whispered in his ear. But every time he felt weak, he remembered his mother's words before he left. "Son, even if the world turns its back on you, never turn your back on yourself." And so he pushed on. Days turned into months, months into years. Slowly, his grades improved, his savings grew, and hope returned. One evening, while cleaning up after work, his co-worker Jake said, "Ethan, you're working too hard. Why don't you quit school and work here full-time? You'll make enough to live comfortably." Ethan smiled faintly. The thought of a stable income was tempting, but he knew comfort was a silent thief of dreams. "I didn't come here to survive," he said. "I came here to grow." After years of relentless effort, Ethan graduated with honors. When he received his degree, he held it in his trembling hands and whispered, "For you, Mom and Dad." He was offered a teaching position in the city, but his heart pulled him back home. He wanted to return to Willowbrook, to the same dusty roads and quiet fields where it all began. When he arrived, the villagers were astonished. The boy they once doubted had come back as a teacher. Ethan didn't waste time. He built a small school beside the river using local help and donated wood. He painted the walls himself and wrote a quote above the blackboard: "Discipline is the bridge between dreams and reality." Every morning, children gathered in his classroom. Some came barefoot, some without books, but all came with wide eyes and open hearts. Ethan taught them not only math and science, but also courage, patience, and self-belief. As years passed, Willowbrook began to change. More children went to school. More parents started to believe that education could transform their lives. The fields still waved golden with crops, but now laughter and curiosity echoed through the village. One evening, as the sun set behind the hills, Ethan's father stood beside him, watching children play outside the school. "You've made me proud, son," his father said softly. "You turned our struggle into strength." Ethan smiled. "You taught me that, Dad. You never gave up even when times were hard. I just followed your example." Years later, people from nearby towns began visiting Willowbrook to see the school that changed the village. Many of Ethan's students became teachers, doctors, and entrepreneurs. Yet whenever anyone asked him the secret behind his success, his answer was always the same. It was never luck or talent. It was self-discipline, the quiet strength to keep going when everything else told me to stop. Success doesn't come overnight. It doesn't come from talent alone or from wishing hard enough. It comes from self-discipline, from showing up day after day, doing the hard things, and refusing to quit even when no one is watching. Discipline is what transforms ordinary people into extraordinary achievers. It turns pain into power and effort into legacy. So whenever you feel like giving up, remember Ethan's story. Remember that your future is built one disciplined step at a time.